Okay, yeah, so I'm Alexander Muñoz, from California, US, and I've been a photographer for over 10 years, but I don't do just your kind of traditional photography. I do something called street photography. And maybe these days in social media, you have an idea of what street photography can be, or what your idea of what street photography is, because it's a very large genre that can often be defined by whoever it is wants to define it. But my type of street photography is very traditional. It's very historical, very, traditional. So I will talk to you about it. I am 39 years old of age now, and I've been doing this since I was 28. So about 11 years, maybe 27, so maybe about 12 years. And I started in downtown San Diego and Los Angeles in California, where I'm from. And so you might be asking then, let's see. Oh, here we go. It's a video file, okay. What is street photography? What is street, okay, I want people to be able to talk to me while I'm doing this too, because this is a community, right? So what is street photography? Can anybody tell me what street photography is? Except for Will.
You're not allowed to talk. It involves a camera.
It involves a camera.
And a street.
And a street.
People?
And people, that's right. And people, that's right. So we'll get to... Street photography is the oldest and most important genre of photography in the world. It is a bold statement. It is a very bold statement, because without street photography, we would have no other genre of photography in the world. And this is, for example, the very first street photography photo that was ever taken. Now, what makes it a street photography photo? This was done in France, I believe, 1838. Yeah.
That's the very first photo at all.
Yeah.
Not street photo.
Yeah, very first photo at all, really. I mean, there's a previous photo before, but it was really just kind of like
the roof stuff.
Yeah, the roof one.
The roof, black and white.
But that one is like a very difficult to. This is really the first photo you can actually tell what objects are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes this a street photo? Can you guys tell me? Can you see anything?
Street.
There's a street. What else? What else can you tell me?
I see
What?
taken with a camera.
It's taken with a camera. Yeah, this is a metal plate to light for 10 minutes.
Sky
Chemical
and
process here.
Sky and buildings.
Sky and buildings, yeah. I mean, the sky's there. The sky's not too important, but what else?
A view of a town.
Yeah, a view of a town. That's important. That's context. That's really good.
Looks like people.
People. There you go. People. The street photography is something that a majority of the time is defined by the people that are in it. Because otherwise, it would be a landscape photo or an urban landscape photo, right? It would be a different genre. Now, is this a street photography photo? This is a very historical, documentary type photo. Would you classify this as street photography? Yes, absolutely. This is a street photography photo. In fact, this was taken candidly. This was VG Day in Times Square, and it portrays a U.S. Navy sailor embracing and kissing a total stranger after Japan surrenders, right? And this was not taken with consent. The nurse was actually actually kissed without her wanting to be kissed either. She was grabbed by the sailor, and she was kissed. So is the most offensive thing in here the fact that this photo was taken candidly? No, actually, the most offensive thing is that this sailor decided to kiss this nurse. But this is history, right? And so what did street photography do? It documented the history of the area. It did it also with a nice composition. What you can tell this is, oh yeah, this is Times Square, this is New York City. We've dated this photo. We've dated these people. We've dated the fashion involved, right? And so, oh, here's another one here. Okay, so is this a street photography photo? Yes, it is. This is a street photography photo. Is there a street visible?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Is there people? Are there people visible? Yes. In fact, you can even see another person in the back right there. Did she have consent to this photo being taken? No. But this is a selfie. It was the very first, one of the very first selfie photographers out there, right? Self-portrait, Vivian Meyer. And she's a photographer that actually didn't actually show anybody her work until much later in life. Now, is this a street photography photo? There's no people in it.
It's still secret.
But it's still a street photography photo. Street photography doesn't have to be defined by the people. It's just that usually it is defined by the people that are in the photos. And it's artistic, right? And it has to do with documenting the time and the era. And it's part of history. It's very, very important. Now, this is also a street photography photo, right? This is a street photography. It has a person in there. This is very artistic. Somebody could say that this is a painting, but this was shot on film, right? So street photography is also very artistic, and it doesn't have to be defined in a particular way. But this is another street photography photo. Again, there's no people in particular, but this was taken in the 70s, I believe. Here, does anyone know where this is? Shinjuku. Shinjuku. And I was living in Tokyo previously. As a few months ago, I moved back to Fukuoka. But I was living in Shinjuku previously, and I actually used to take photos right there all the time. And now this area is different. But you know what? I've been so inspired by this photo that when I lived in Tokyo, I was photographing here all the time, and I made it my mission to be able to take photos in this location because I wanted to be able to have that as a comparison in the past. Because street photography is all about documenting. It's all about making sure that we're preserving history. We're preserving the time that we're in. It's another street photography photo by my favorite street photographer in the world, and he's also named Alex. Fortunately and unfortunately, because I can't make a name for myself if somebody says, "Oh, I love Alex." Oh, which Alex? Alex Webb. Alex Webb, taken in Cuba. And so street photography is really defined by its ability to, document history, fashion, people, but also in the most artistic way as possible, right? Look at the colors here, this tonality of the sky. This was shot on film, ISO 100 if you know cameras, right? On a film, on Kodachrome. It's actually maybe less than ISO 100, maybe 64. And so, did he ask these people? Maybe, maybe not, but regardless.
It almost looks like he asked the guy in the light.
I bet he at least asked a couple of these people.
It almost looks like flash photography, but
Yes,
I don't know what he's using, but
he might have had some ambient light coming from this direction to help him out for sure.
or is this a car? Yeah.
It's one of my favorite photos ever. The composition is amazing. Here's a photo taken by one of my friends. Oh, and actually Greg Girard, the one who did the Shinjuku photo, I actually got to meet him at one of my exhibitions, and I was just like floored. This is actually a personal friend of mine. It's an award-winning photo, actually, but he's also a personal friend of mine, Ulysses Aoki. He also has a YouTube channel like me as well, and we've done a lot of projects together and things. But what does this photo do for us? What does this do?
COVID-19.
Exactly. It documents the era of COVID in Shibuya, right, around Ginza Station, the brand new Ginza Station. And so it also dates the photo a little bit, Ginza Station, how it looks right now. It wasn't looking like that before. Now this is the new remodeled Ginza Station. And so it was actually taken around the time that this new station entrance area was remodeled and everything, so you can date the photo and you can see how the light is interacting and everything. So it's very artistic.
I
You know
like
what
the
I mean?
emotion. They all look overwhelmed.
Exactly. I mean,
It's
this
quite
is
overwhelming.
yes, this time and period, is very emotionally melancholy, right? So my friend Ulysses here was able to capture this photo. So this was my favorite photo that he's taken. He's taken a lot of photos. This is my personal favorite that he's taken, and it's got a lot of yellows in here. There's another photo by a friend of mine in New York, Eric Toribio. He's named Ribsy. He's also got a YouTube channel. But this is also a street portrait. He asked for this photo. Somebody randomly on the train. I think he asked for it. But as you can see, he's documenting what? Fashion, the times, the light. It's artistic, right? She's got an earbud.
Do you think that would be analog? Or?
He did shoot that on film. Yeah, he shot that on medium format square film with the same camera I have, the Sheikah Mat 124G. Yeah. Here's another photographer who I haven't met, but I have contacted on Instagram here. And this photo is quite famous at this point. Shin Noguchi in Kamakura. So he's documented these people here. He's documented a lot of emotion here. I mean, this is peak street photography. Hardcore, you know. Who took this one? Who do you think? I did. Yeah, exactly. I did.
I know that.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I have it up somewhere. Right? Not this one. Maybe some of the other ones.
So I'm somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So actually, this is one of my street photography photos I took. Like one of the back in like maybe 2015, 16, where it's just like I took this and I'm like, oh, I think I get it. I think I understand what I'm doing, because before I go out on the street and I'd kind of experiment and I'd kind of mess around a little bit and try to learn how to use a camera. And then I took this photo and I thought, you know what, I think I get it. What street photography is. It's documenting people, it's documenting the time. You know, we got a brand here even. We got a mother with her child, and you know, and she got light and shadow. And so I kind of figured out a style at one point here. And oh, let me go back actually. This one's kind of nice because it documents a little bit. What's this? Tenjin Core?
Hey.
Is this around anymore? No, it's not here anymore. It's gone. And this was actually...
History, though.
Yeah, it really is. And then here's what replaced Tenjin Core is this construction wall. And now what's there is a big, massive building of glass and metal that I need to take another photo of in the front to make a series out of. Here's another photo that I took in front of Hakata Station, and took me took me about 3 months to get this exact photo that I had in my brain, right? And I wanted to be able to document this photo and the sign of the times, because what's he doing? He's like a Uber Eats kind of person, right? So I'm documenting the time. This couldn't have been taken 10 years ago, right? This was taken in the past couple years, right? And here's another photo that I found was quite artistic. I included it because my wife likes it. And then where's this? This is in Shibuya. It's a purely artistic. Street photography has a lot of different ways, different styles. This is Ginza. Why do street photography? Why do we do this? I mean, what's the point? You're going out and taking meaningless photos that people are kind of unaware of. It's a way for us to prove to ourselves that we exist. Ultimately, what's the answer? Is that we're existing as humans on this planet. How do we prove it? We prove it through photos. Can we prove it through video? Can we prove it through audio? Sure, definitely. But photos are this medium that are kind of universal and can be transferred backwards and forwards through time. Whereas videos might be a little bit difficult. Audio might be a little bit difficult. But photos, I think, are the #1 method. And fashion is able to be documented. This person in Shinjuku, I was able to document her fashion. I was able to connect with her after I followed her on Instagram, and now she follows me, and we talk sometimes. So it's a way that we can make a connection. And I shoot on film, and I like film because we can keep a physical medium. Oftentimes digital things, like how many photos do you have from 10 years ago when you started having a smartphone from like 10 years ago? How many of those photos do you have these days? All of them. You fucking nerd. But I have them on film because we have this like physical medium that actually can't be as easily corrupted and lost.
It's true. You can't use.
Right.
I lose some stuff.
Right. And here's a photo. Do you think I asked for this photo when I took it? With a flash? No.
This is very
I did not ask for this photo. Do you think that she was happy about it? Do you think that she made a reaction about it? What do you think? Do you think she cared?
Probably.
She actually didn't care.
All right.
She was actually really happy about it. Yeah. And some people might look at the photo and think, oh, wow, you took the photo so close to her with a flash. She must be so angry. I don't think that's correct. I don't like that. She didn't like that. She doesn't want her photo to be posted online either or be shared here. In fact, she loved it. In fact, everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinions. Nobody's the same. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? Yeah. I see you judging. But I asked these people, and here's some of my friends here, and street photography is not a thing that you do by yourself and you're in a corner and you take a photo and you run away.
You run away.
Yeah, no, you do it socially sometimes with friends. And you share in this and you share with people. All of my friends have done street photography and we've all had our instances where we've had people that say, no, I don't want my photo taken. Or yes, I want my photo taken. And we have a lot of fun and we drink and that's what it's all about. This guy right here, I mean, this is a really famous photographer right now. His name is Joe Greer. And street photography enables us to build a community across the world. He lives in New York. I lived in Tokyo in Japan here. I was able to come across to Japan and we connected through street photography. And I think that's kind of beautiful. Yeah. And we're able to make people happy. You know, and that's really kind of the thing that I really enjoy is that if I'm able to take a photo of somebody, I want them to be happy I took the photo of them, or neutral. I don't want them to be angry. And a lot of people are really happy. They're really, you know, glad. This is one of my favorite photos. A technical aspect, you know, artistic aspect. But yeah, she's running along. I try to capture action. If you ask somebody for a photo all the time, do you think you're going to get this kind of photo? You're never going to get this kind of photo from asking somebody for a photo.
So after you take the picture, do you ask them?
A lot of times I am.
Like publish it or put it online or something?
You know, if I have the opportunity to have that conversation with somebody, I take it.
But sometimes you don't. Like, she's gone.
She's gone. And she didn't care.
She didn't know.
Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she doesn't care. You know, like a lot of these people.
She didn't say anything.
She didn't say anything. And I'm there. I'm present. And a lot of times I'm like, you know, waving. I'm saying sorry if I didn't, you know, think that they had a good reaction to it. I'm able to be there and say, oh, I'm sorry. And then I won't use it. What's that?
How do they usually react?
Oh, a lot of different reactions. A lot of different reactions. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. So yeah, it's documenting this person's fashion, but you know, maybe in the future we're not hailing cabs like this. We're doing Uber taxi these days. In the future, are people going to be doing this on the street? What's she doing? She has her hand out. Now we know what that means.
Yeah, in 10 years' time, kids will know.
Yeah, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 50 years. What is she doing on the street doing that? But I've been able to document that. I've been able to document the human condition of our time, history, etc. So photos like this, also these guys. Oh, so in your point right here. So I took this photo here. This is in Tenjin. These guys are drinking. He was cool with it. He was happy about it. This was with Flash. He was happy about it. Actually, he was cool about it. He speaks perfect English. Perfect English. He's actually, I think, I don't know, he lived abroad. This guy didn't care. He was gone. But this person right here, he really didn't like it. But he was very drunk. But he had his friends with him, and they kind of neutralized the situation. But a lot of the times, I mean, this is what I can count on one hand. And this is one of them.
I like the beatniks t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Documenting the times. Yeah, people dancing, people having fun. This is important. People drunk on the ground, you know. But I didn't make him look bad because you don't see his face. People smoking. Are people going to be smoking in 10 years? I don't know. People's fashion, people skateboarding around here in Tenjin. Yeah. Yeah, people's fashion. You know, this is a triple exposure on film. So, yeah, you know, this is an extreme example here. I asked her for a photo. She's got great fashion. If I had just taken the photo, boom, as a snap, I think she wouldn't have liked it, so I asked. Everything's situational. Everything has purpose and everything has reason within bounds, right?
You sometimes get a vibe.
What's that?
You sometimes get a vibe like.
Absolutely.
I think it's be okay. I don't think.
After 10 years, you learn to
Yeah,
read
you-
people.
You read it, eh?
Yeah, these people are from Germany, and I just able to ask them. Yeah, intention here. Just a split second. You know, street photography, but no people. It's okay. Street photography, but documenting Sasebo Burger, right? Sasebo Burger. What if Sasebo Burger's gone in 50 minutes? Okay, here's something that you do in street photography. You try to find these kind of correlations or kind of things that matching. This guy's got a microphone in the background, and he's speaking. He's singing, and then she's got an ice cream, so it kind of looks like a microphone,
Yeah.
right? So you kind of find these things that kind of match.
Very wide micro.
What's that?
Wide
Yes. The documenting the times. Yeah, Hakata Yamakasa. I actually shot this with Will. So, but you're asking, okay, so, but is any of this legal? Regardless if somebody is okay with it or not. If somebody's okay with me asking, if somebody's okay with me not asking or asking, is any of this still legal? Because I think there's a lot of misconception by people that just because NHK blurred out some people's photos on TV, it equals you cannot take photos on the street. It's totally different things. It's a corporation trying to protect their business versus me, just an artistic photographer, right? But is this any of this legal in Japan, USA, other countries, in Europe, maybe? Well, it's complicated, but yes, basically yes, it is in public spaces or public property, right? So as a private business here at Dancing Penguin, James here could tell me, hey, don't take photos, and I have to abide by his rule because this is his business, right? But if I'm out here on the public sidewalk, of course I can take a photo, right? And so in Japan and the US and many other free, non-authoritarian countries, such as like North Korea, and maybe China, Cuba. Well, Cuba's actually okay. We generally have portrait rights or rights of likeness. Now, people can claim this, of course, but it refers to the rights of one's appearance, photographed, disclosed without consent. However, unlike copyright, which is often kind of mixed, this right is not explicitly codified into law, and to claim such rights, legal action must be taken in the court to prove damages, and that's the most important thing. You don't want to make somebody look bad, right? If you post somebody's photo, God forbid you make money off of that photo of somebody looking bad, then they have a right to file.
If they look good, it's okay, but if they look bad.
Exactly. Right. They'd have to be able to prove.
Derogatory towards them.
Yes, exactly. Derogatory, damaging to them.
So typically, like the guy drunk on the streets.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
On the floor.
Yeah.
His face, like,
Exactly. I would never want to show somebody like throwing up on the street and take a photo and post it online. Try to make money off of that too as well. That'd be horrible. There's no value in that, right? So Japanese law, Article 21, freedom of assembly, association, as well as speech, press, and all our forms of expression are guaranteed. So actually, Japanese law protects me with taking street photography. It actually protects me more than the person being photographed. So as long as I'm responsible and a good person, it's okay. And no censorship shall be maintained. So nobody can really censor me and tell me to stop if I'm doing nothing damaging. This is kind of important. And I keep this on my cell phone at all times. I haven't had to actually show anybody this, but I keep this on my cell phone at all times so I can show people, even the police. Because especially the police. We'll get to that too. Freedom of thought and consciousness shall not be violated. Now, freedom of thought. What do you think about me taking a photo? What do I think about the photo, me taking the photo? What was my intention behind taking the photo? The right to own or to uphold property is inviolable. So then the photo that I took on film or digital, that file, is always belonging to me. That's my property at that point. So if anybody want to claim anything, they would have to file it in court and be able to get that photo from me and claim the rights of it. Property rights, conformity with public health care. Private property, may be taken for public use upon compensation. So somebody can pay me for my photo. So I'm showing you all these articles like, yes, street photography is okay, as long as it's okay, right? You know, as long as it's conditioned, you know, and then also the police cannot actually hold me. If the police get it wrong, they can't actually hold me. You know, they can't claim anything against me. They'll put me in a cell, and then I have to be like, no, street photography is okay because this, and this, and then they can't do that. They can't throw me in a cell and then check if the law is okay. They have to, you know, abide by the law first, and then prove some damages, prove some things, and then they can throw me in jail for the photo of me, you know, taking somebody having fun. So why risk taking photos? Possibly making someone feel angry, feel violated. Why take this risk? What if somebody does feel really angry and violated by this? You know, is it worth the risk? Well, intent and use are important. Are you a good person? What's the goal? How are you taking the photos? Are you making anyone look bad on purpose? All of these decisions of will are controllable and can be practiced responsibly, ultimately benefiting mankind beyond our own current scope of knowledge. Oh my God, that's such a.
Speaking of responsible practice.
Oh, are we over?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But okay, I want to show this one thing here, and then we'll be dead. We'll be done.
This morning marks a grim anniversary in Beijing. 25 years ago.
What if we didn't have these rights, right?
China's army used brute force to end a massive protest
This is a street
in
photo.
Tiananmen Square. Since
This
then,
is street
China's
photography.
government has done its best
This
to
is street
erase the
photography.
massacre from
What
their
if we didn't
history
have
books.
this?
And Seth Doan is
Right?
in Beijing.
What if we can't take
That
photos
effort
of people on the street in their
continues today.
fashion?
Seth, good morning.
Can we still take these photos? Do you
Good
think
morning.
that
It
our
has been
rights would
incredibly
be
difficult to find people who are willing
Yeah.
to talk to us on this story. We've had interviews that have mysteriously been canceled right before we were supposed to hold them.
Yeah.
We've even had locations where we were supposed to do those interviews sealed by police who are clearly monitoring our communication. Even 25 years on, this anniversary is incredibly sensitive. 25 years ago, tanks rolled into Beijing's Tiananmen Square to suppress a weeks-long
Very difficult to
student
show these
uprising
videos
that had
in
spread
China.
across China. The communist government's
It's illegal.
crackdown turned
Yeah.
bloody. It's still
You get in
not
trouble.
known how many died. Estimates range from 200 to more than 1,000.
Everyone in China, we have rights to know the truth. After that, it's so many.
So then, here's the last photo I'll leave you with, is her. And what does she have? She has a camera right here. She's a street photographer. And maybe she bought this camera in the first place because she wanted to take photos of flowers or her family and these kind of things. But she had the right to be able to have a camera out on the street in public and take photos before she could be part of Tiananmen Square and do this. So I just want to leave you all with the encouragement of that you should take photos as much as you can and as much as you want, and knowing within your rights and within your own personality to to feel liberated to be able to do that. Go out and have fun. And this and that. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you. Do we have time for a question?
Yeah, we can go.
Okay.
Questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
yes.
question for you. How do you make your photos so nostalgic?
I think the most important thing I look for is the lighting situation, because without the light, then you can't see certain things in the photo. And then after, it's the subject matter. And sometimes people like to take a photo of just one person, right? And that can make that one person really beautiful. But so I like to focus on the background and the foreground and many different elements in the frame. So a lot of times I shoot with a wider angle lens, like a 28 millimeter lens. That way I'm capturing more of the scene and more information in the photo. And when you do that, you get more context and you get more history. Yeah.
I have a question about how do you prove the authenticity of your photographs? So in the time of the AI technology,
Yes.
you may have a difficulties.
Yes. So I actually, this is something that I'm always having to deal with. And so there's two things that actually help us with these days. Is shooting film if you want. It's still available. You can still do it. You have that negative. You have that proof. This is one of the things that I really like about shooting film, is that I have this negative, I have this proof, and 50 years, 100 years from now, people can still prove that I took this photo, and it can't be altered in any way, you know? And then the second thing is actually in programs like Lightroom and other editing programs, they're actually building some copyright and embedding some security features to prove your name and the editing history of that photo. Within the file of the photo itself, you can get that editing history within there, and that's a high-tech thing.
You have the RAW also.
Yeah, you should have the RAW as well. Two as well. I mean, maybe you hack that some way, but yeah.
How natural can a photo be before it loses street? Like if you took a photo inside Central Park,
right,
like completely all green and trees and stuff, there's no paths showing or anything. Right. At which point does it lose its streetness? Street cred.
Yeah. At which point does a street photography photo not be a street photography photo? Yeah. Honestly, it's a really good question because a lot of the genres can blend together, which is why street photography is the oldest and most important form of street photography in the world. Because street photography is the mother of all photography, where all other genres stem from. So who is to define, not to define what a street photography photo is very debated.
Just because the photo you shot with no people very much spoke about like urban civilization.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there's lots of traces.
Yeah.
Of
traces of human existence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how far can it be removed? It's just like,
right. I think when you can remove human existence from a photo, then it stops being a street photo. Yeah.
There's no influence of humans
right.
on what you say. You're talking
about like trash or
it's
human-made.
Yeah, it's human-made, but only a botanist could tell you that this combination of stuff is weird and definitely like a human city.
Right.
If as a lay person.
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Expanding on this thought train.
Yeah.
What if you take a photo of Tokyo ghost town?
A ghost town. Yeah. That's a street photography photo. Absolutely. Traces of human existence, right? Yeah, absolutely. You can call it an urban landscape, but it's still in that family tree. Yeah. Yes.
Have you been to any foreign countries besides Japan?
Oh, yeah. And I've done street photography all over the world, too, as well. So, all over the world. Many countries. Korea, Hong Kong, this year I went to. All over the U.S., Spain. Country that maybe I have a difficult time in. Florida, that's a different country. Yeah. Country I have a difficult time in, maybe Germany, because they have a history of privacy laws and history post World War II, where the government was getting in trouble a lot with spying on its own citizens, and so Germans are very protective of their rights of being displayed online.
How was your experience in Hong Kong? Did you have any funny experiences?
I had zero actual conflicts or any problems. I had one funny story that I was taking a photo of this lady's stall that was like really old, and then above it is a huge skyscraper, very modern. So I wanted to get that kind of that context, that contrast. And so I was taking a photo of the sign and the building of hers, of the context of the super modern building in the background. And then I'm taking the photo up like this, and then next thing I know, I'm being splashed on the legs by a water hose. And she's yelling at me, "Bah, bah, 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 no photos!" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm just like laughing. I laughed it off. I'm like, "Wow, whatever." I walked away. That's it. That's the craziest that I usually have. It's like stuff like that. I've had a little one, incident here in Nakasu, but nothing really came of it. So, yeah. Besides that, yeah.
Last question.
Okay. The short question. What kind of camera do you use?
There's too many cameras.
Too many
cameras. I like to have manual focus cameras usually. So like a manual rangefinder Leica, or a Canon, or square format.
Digital or film?
Film. I like film the most, but sometimes film is not as convenient as digital, so it just depends. I was shooting digital today, but my battery died, so I'm kind of angry about that.
That wouldn't be a problem with film camera, right?
It wouldn't be a problem with film unless I ran out of film. So it's always a plus and minus. Yeah, you can never win. Yeah.
All right, well, Alex, you'll be around, so if you have any more questions.
Thank you, sir.